to day 520 Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. Like to sponsor a coming share or more of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, please contact me directly. Very greatly appreciated. Today we're doing Sif Mem Aleph to Sif Mem Vav. Mem Aleph. Let me just check. Yep, Mem Vav. Okay. Mem Aleph. Those ones said the Yerushalmi East of the Aswar Chokah Kli Rishon Fil and Yatz Lesbo. That, but they made a the Yerushalmi holds that they made a gzera on Kli Rishon even if it's not to Lesbo. Okay, it's not true. By Yerushalmi Kai Yatz Lesbo, the Yerushalmi is going Yatz Lesbo. But Kli Archaka, and that which is called the Archaka, it's Yatz Lesbo. The Yerushalmi and Kli Rishon Bashukah because the Yerushalmi Shita is that Kli Rishon is Amabasho. Whereas the Halesh, Achmi Rabbanan, also Archaka is that. Rabbanan made a gzera around it. V'zoshon Yerushalmi Perek Azamaisis Ubekira. Perek is Perek Hachodal, and Kira, that's in Shabbos, of course, Perek Hachodal. Ma ben Kli Rishon, ma ben Kli Sheni. What's the difference between Kli Rishon and Kli Sheni? Am Rabbi Yossi, Kana Yad Sholetes. The question, big question in Yerushalmi, what is Sholetes, Sholetes? So Arukh HaShulchan says here, Kana Yad Sholetes, Klomar, bracket says, Klomar Lo Sholetes. Yad Sholetes means your hand can't touch it. It's sholet on it. It's not sholet from it. But can't any Yad Sholetes. And here the hand cannot touch it. In both cases, the hand cannot hold on to it. It's Yad Sholetes bow. It made a gezerah on Kli Rishon, not Al-Eish, as long as Yad Sholetes. Either when Yad Sholetes bow, not Yad Sholetes bow. When Yad Sholetes bow, they made a gezerah. Below Kli Sheni, and Kli Sheni they left as was Ein Sham. He says the brackets will be honored by your day. Magei Avraham Bishum the particularly Kli Rishon Bashim L'Oraisa. Says Magei Avraham holds that all Kli Rishon is Bashim L'Oraisa. Who can find Sheni Yad Sholetes? You have to explain that it's Yeinei Yad Sholetes. Then of course Sholetes or Sholetes. To do that, you have to change the gifts from Sholetes to its exact opposite, which is Sholetes. Then okay, it's not true. But this is quite clear. Now to put spices into Kli Rishon as long as it is the level of Yad Sholetes bow, a little bit salt, nor garlic, nor onion or garlic, or anything else which requires cooking. But salt chachamim allowed to be put in Kli Rishon even if it's Yad Sholetes bow, as long as it's not on the fire. Because salt only gets cooked with a lot of cooking, like the meat of an ox, which is old and tough. So no special age can only be cooked on the fire. When you bisur the Torah also, but bisur Torah itself is also even to a Kli Rishon, which is Yad Sholetes bow, even if it's not on the fire. Because of a Torah, the heat of Basar and Mizbashal, because the Torah writes it's true the meat won't get cooked. The fats and the moisture within it, Mizbashal, will get cooked. For his birth time and other reasons we clarify for this later on. There are two versions of how to learn the din of salt. One of them is one we just learned. The other is the opposite. The cooking with salt is very easy. But it even gets good in Kli Sheni if Yad Sholetes bow. So therefore those who forbid putting in salt even Kli Sheni. But the primary halacha that you wrote previously, that it's okay in Kli Sheni, even a Kli Rishon, if it's not Al-Eish. It's a good thing. If you violate it and put salt in the pot, when it's by the fire, and the Torah prohibition, nevertheless, the cooked dish is not usher, because the salt is an infinitesimal amount relative to the rest of the food. Even though it's made for taste, and besides that, can become mutter the next day. Nevertheless, since it's not cannot be identified in the pot, has no capacity to forbid because of the Vashim Shabbos. Because the cooking is not recognized at all. Also, it is a case of Zev Zagorim. There are two facets here. because the meat itself was had salt from before Shabbos. It was salted, so therefore there are two sources for the salt, and therefore it's the one forbidden salt is not doesn't answer by itself. It's an interesting chap. Rav Sheish Lodem is not sure about this chiddush. The primary halacha is permissible. So not like he who wants to forbid it. The great Achronim wrote as well. This way, this is primary. Brings down brackets here. Ayin Taras Yivchot Yudav V'Chokolov. Mashchas HaMagei Avram Tzikad Lam Aleph. The Melech shall actually be Yishbok to elite and down below. Melech shall esmo asur. Ayin Sham the Magei Avram says not zebek because if the salt from today has enough saltiness to salt the soup without the salt of yesterday, it's also lo b'il kokach. That's not so clear, says the Arukh HaShulchan. Mashchas Shemel Shel Yam Ein B'Rishon. I'm sure that sea salt has no bishul. V'shein bishul achar bishul, because there's no cooking after cooking. Evidently, the way to get the salt from the sea is by cooking, by evaporating the water. And the freezer gam betzukar that didn't came, so those be the lacha by sugar because they evaporate the liquid. Miyesh Fakbin says that those who are unsure about this. Ayin place this Shabbos to Beduk. The Mishnah Berurah says if the salt, if the salt now or the second salt, he says like the Magen Avraham, that if there's enough in the second salt to make it salty by itself, it's also to Motzei Shabbos. The Mishnah Berurah says it's best to be avoid putting salt and of course sugar in Kli Rishon lechatchila. Megimel. Kfar already wrote the Avagav the Mer Shas Tzricha Milcha. Be sure that the salt requires cooking like meat and ox. That's allowed to put salt in a Kli Rishon. Mikol never be so Torah Osir. The ox meat itself is forbidden. Because the moisture within it gets cooked. First cause of Otam Rosh has another reason. The Maliach Yashon who Memayli special. If it's an old salted piece of meat, it cooks even quicker. The why did the two mention this reason? We'll say Maliach Chadash come on because it doesn't apply to new salted meat. But anybody says if that's bedin kli because the Yeshua also says the tol kli zeh basam mulach vafilu shel shor shana. Some people say you're not allowed to put salted meat into the pot, even if it's ox meat. Become also to be a rush. It means to refer to the words of the rush. But it's understood how rush kosab rak miliach yashan. He's only said it was an old salted meat. Rabbeinu Ramah kosab b'zel lashon. But the Ramah went further. Nearly the below maluach not also. Even if it's not salted, it's still also. And nothing maluach. Why does it say salted? The below asim shum dam shabo. Because if it's not salted, it's anyway also because of the blood. The main reason what the Torah writes that of the moisture. And lucky maluach, but why does it say salted? Because all meat has to be salted. Otherwise, it'd be us anyway because of the blood. But this is very difficult to say. Why does it mention? Why does it mention salted? Salted. Every meat is salted. You have to mention salted specifically and and separately. So why did the Rosh, who was the father of the Torah, not write the rationale of the Torah about the moisture and the fats? Rabbi says a davar gadol there. John says, but he says saying big chiddush, big thing. I don't know. See, they terutzah to according to the Torah's terutzah. Mana said, but buster she's yabashim lechlu because we're going to do with meat which is absolutely dry, which has no moisture whatsoever. Beef jerky. Terutzah Rosh Mana said maliacharish. According to Rosh, we're going to do with newly salted meat. And not here was a chas v'shalom. We'll permit this chas v'shalom. Zeitz Chakim he says the chol basar maluach mevasha. He said any salted meat is cooked. The Shas Lakom Arak Tzricha Milcha Bishua Kibisra the Torah. Because in the Gemara itself, all we see is that salt requires cooking like the meat of an ox. That they both require strenuous, strong, perhaps long cooking. It's not talking about what's also what's mutter. in other words, about I guess the status in terms of whether it's mutter or not. But in terms of the quality of their cooking. Of course, this is where it's lost it, right? But so obviously the halacha is not the same for both. I'm sorry. The when they equal, when the soup meat is not salted. But it's salted on the salt softens it. The dial bishul kli rishon, then it's already can be cooked in a kli rishon, even not alish. Can be made also so it's came Shabbos. You know how to do that on Shabbos. The same lechenu hareis bashel because I can do. Well, actually, I don't know if it's kli rishon not alish because those metaphors to say even kli rishon alish is very difficult. But let's say kli rishon not alish. But can't put a kli rishon not alish. Why? What are you going to do? If you salt it, so then it's going to get cooked, right? Because it's salted meat, which gets cooked in Kli Rishon. If you don't salt it, okay, you can put it in Kli Rishon, but yes, so it's because it's not salted for your other reasons. Maybe that's also the Ramah means. Brackets, Vemis, Ledatim, Yechich, Forish, Kane, we must have the answer called Richel Satas, to become Gimp, Ram, Ram, called Lamed, as his Shapri, Viduk. Basically, Arukh HaShulchan saying the reason I gave of the Manav Shach is much more smooth than whatever reason the Torah and the Rosh give. Them doubt. Be clear, Shani, Hutzil, you think having as cliche, allowed to put spices, Avo Bishad says, well, even though the hand jumps back when it touches the liquid. Cliche and Bavashal, cliche doesn't cook. Avogad in Mavliya, Maflite Shostim, even though in your day, in terms of being Mavliya and Isser into food stuff, or Mafli taking Isser out of the food stuff, yeah, there are people who forbid it. Come, Bishul Amalek cliche. Nevertheless, there's no Bishul like cliche. For the Gamliya Mavliya, Mafli, Lokamal, we also don't hold that way by absorption, because you're there, Simon Kufay, it's only by Kli Rishon. Kemuta says tavli with some mishumim b'Shabbos. Every last word, spices and onions and garlic and Shabbos, shachris and Shabbos itself and klisheni. Ishish machli with some klisheni. Those are machli by onions klisheni. Mineshon ishim mismakim mimurusam because we see that they get sweetened from the bitterness. Achashin chomsham ezuzman after they've been there for a while. Says Arukh HaShulchan, that's a taz. V'chumri seirahu. It's too big a chumra. The session miskatrim mineharota b'shuman. It's very sweet not because of the cooking, but because of the sauce and the fat. But on the contrary, we're in the Mosachol. We see in the weekday, when we put onions in a cooked dish, we put it in when the dish is at its highest point of cooking, highest boil. Which might know must requires a lot of cooking. Reish back to the chumas avoid the basil kashal libla and shem says also onions don't absorb so easily. Hagam the shamuk shikli pasa, even though there's an onion in its peel, come shan misham shahai ukli kashal libla sem shar davar. Nevertheless, the bottom line is it's hard for it to absorb. Yes, I'm going to say when it comes to cooking, it's much easier. The ains just to be astonishing and inconsistent. So you put onions in kasa, whatever it is, on Shabbos morning without any question. The afshu davar gush, even though it's a solid onion, and solids cook even klisheni, come is pazeres, he scatters in the plate. Koshkem nosim abtlaim bateller, especially in the bowl. Especially if you put it on the plate, she klishlishi anyway. Lays dimly is dying, no question that it's not going to be Lavasha. And those who like onion, Zoetzlam Oineg Shabbos. The eggs are Oineg Shabbos for them. The eggs in the casa. From them, he says somebody who refrains from this, Monem Oineg Shabbos. He refrains from Shabbos. By Minog, Chenemig Pasha, this is the widespread Minog to allow putting the onions in the casa. I tried looking up the word casa, but I can't find it, so I'm not sure what it is. Okay, mem hey. Laros miklish on a tavlin to to pour from a kli rishon on spices, kshat soles poed, when the kli rishon is got soles po also. The era of the klipa cooking, pouring does cook. Only klipa, but it cooks. You can't put spice in a plate and pour on them in a kli rishon. Era, if you did, nasa klipa. And take klipa, birth of the food comes also to Motzei Shabbos. V'avakav yin hagala machmirin lo ave kli rishon k'mo shizbar simen taflun aleph. Even though in terms of kash in the keli, we're machmir that it's not like kli rishon. I'm going to see it's simen taflun aleph. I'm not sure what how it's a chumah that's not kli rishon, but in any event, that's probably a mistake. That should be for kli rishon. A typo. Since I go, we're not marking it, so we should be kli rishon. We have to have gola on the keli. The sheston in the area and kli rishon because people hold there are people that pouring is not kli rishon. Come Shabbos machmir because there's also in Shabbos we ask. You come nearly to any sort of tash should tavish nesu b'kdei klipa, but you shouldn't ask the entire cooked dish because of the spices which are also b'kdei klipa. You're there siman tzadik aleph these bar the makom shel klipa. We learn you require klipa and look kilfua bish lukach if you didn't peel it and you cooked it that way. Mutter b'diavad it's mutter after the fact and kashkasha likluf. Even it's hard to peel it's mutter. Lokamon mishmachmir is not a key who is machmir in this, which evidently is the Mishlabura, but he says that only if lo nifsak kikuach, if it's been pouring the whole time without any interruption. Memvav kasabram abercha beis din v'hei ambatu shel merchas. If you have a bathtub, shimlei mayim chaim which full of hot water, ain't no siba mayim tzon you can have cold water in. Shrei mechaman arbeka is going to heat them up very much. Can't let you talk about pach shushem. You can put a jug of oil into that bathtub, and they should because it's like cooking it. But you can put hot water into a bath of cold water. If you have an urn for which you took the hot water, you put it in cold water until they can become lukewarm. You're allowed to pour hot water into cold water. Cold water into hot water. It's not even with kli rishon. Because if it's kli rishon, it hates them very much, and therefore it is usher. Obviously, I'll show us going to have to get into some more detail. In brackets here, he says, allowed to pour either hot into cold hot. When is it stated? Because by a cup. By a bathtub, you can pour hot into cold, not cold into hot. So this is when I say a mug. It's like a bati, only a bati, several bati. A mug is not the same as a bathtub. Obviously, there are large amounts of water.